Hello everyone. So today I can see him right now, but I'm going to put this window down, the one where we can see each other, and I'm going to read you a story, one of the old stories, Grimm Brothers version, the Grimm Brothers. Yep, it's going to be. Don't breathe on my arm. It's Rapunzel. Now this entire time I will not know what he's doing behind me until I put it on YouTube, which will be when you guys are actually watching this. So here we go. Rapunzel. There were once a man and a woman who had long in vain wished for a child. At length, the woman hoped that God was about to grant her desire. These people had a little window, at the back of their house, from which I can't see with these things on, from which a splendid garden. I can feel you moving. Splendid garden could be seen. I heard that. Are you okay? I can't look. Okay. Could be seen, which was full of the most beautiful flowers and herbs. It was, however, surrounded by a high wall, and no one dared to go into it because it belonged to an enchantress who had great power and was dreaded by all the world. What are you doing? Oh my god. Oh my god! One day the woman was standing by this window and looking down into the garden when she saw a bed which was planted with the most beautiful rampion, Rapunzel, and it looked so fresh and green that she longed for it. No, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Yeah, the net did, but I could feel that. And had the greatest desire to eat some. The desire increased every day, and as she knew that she could not get any of it, she quite pined away, and began to look pale and miserable. Then her husband was alarmed, and asked, "What ails you, dear wife?" "Ah," she replied, "if I can't eat some of the rampion which is in the garden behind our house, I shall die." That's lame. You can't eat some sort of lettuce and you'll die? What a loser. The man who loved her thought, sooner than let your wife die, bring her some of the rampion yourself. Let it cost what it will. At twilight he clambered down over the wall to the garden of the enchantress, hastily clutched a handful of rampion, and took it to his wife. Yeah, I know you're there. She had once made herself a salad of it, and ate it greedily. It tasted so good to her, so very good, that the next day she longed for it 3 times as much as before. If he was to have any rest, her husband must once more descend into the garden. In the gloom of the evening, blah, blah, blah. Therefore he let himself down again. But when he had clambered down the wall, he was terribly afraid, for he saw the enchantress standing before him. "How can you dare," said she with an angry look, "descend into my garden and steal my rampion like a thief? You shall suffer, oh my god, you shall suffer for it." "Ah," answered he, "let mercy take the place of justice. I only made up my mind to do it out of necessity. My wife saw your rampion from the window," oh my god, "and felt such a longing, I could see like your shadow over here, for it, that she would have died if she had not got some to eat." Then the enchantress allowed her anger to be softened, and said to him, "If the case be as you say, I will allow you to take away with you as much rampion as you will, only I make one condition. You must give me the child which your wife will bring into the world. It shall be well treated, and I will take care of it for it like a mother." The man in his terror consented to everything, and when the woman was brought to bed, the enchantress appeared at once, gave the child name of Rapunzel. Why is there no child name of Rapunzel, and took it away with her. Rapunzel grew into be the most. I can see your arm. Grew into the most beautiful child under the sun. When she was 12 years old, the enchantress shut her into a tower, which lay in a forest, and had neither stairs nor door, but quite at the top was a little window. When the enchantress wanted to go in, she placed herself beneath it, and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Rapunzel had magnificent long hair, fine as spun gold, and when she heard the voice of the enchantress, she unfastened her braided tresses, wound them round one in the hooks of the window above, and then let her hair fall 20 ells below, and the enchantress climbed up by it. After a year or two it came to pass that the king's son rode through the forest and passed by the tower. Then he heard a song, which was so charming that he stood still and listened. This was Rapunzel, who in her solitude passed her time in letting her sweet voice resound. The king's son wanted to climb up to her, and looked for the door of the tower, but none was to be found. This wording is so hard to read. He rode home, but the singing had so deeply touched his heart that every day he went out to the forest and listened to it. Once he was thus standing behind a tree, he saw the enchantress came there, and he heard how she cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Then Rapunzel let down the braids of her hair, and the enchantress climbed up to her. "If that is the ladder by which one mounts, I too will try my fortune," said he. And the next day, when it began to grow dark, he went to the tower and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair!" Immediately, the hair fell down, and the king's son climbed up. This is really long. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. On the same day that she cast out Rapunzel, however, the enchantress fastened the braids of her hair, which she had cut off, to the hook of the window, and the king's son came and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She let the hair down, and the king's son ascended, but instead of finding his dearest Rapunzel, he found the enchantress, who gazed at him with wicked and venomous look. "Aha!" she cried mockingly. "You would fetch your dearest, but the beautiful bird sits no longer singing in the nest. The cat has got it, and will scratch out your eyes out as well." Wow, that is scary. "Rapunzel is lost to you. You will never see her again." The king's son was beside himself with pain, and in his despair he leapt down from the tower. He escaped with his life, but the thorns into which he fell pierced his eyes. Then he wandered quite blind out of the forest, ate nothing but roots and berries, and did not but lament and weep across for his dearest wife. Thus he roamed about in misery for some years, and at length came to the desert where Rapunzel, with the twins to which she had given birth, a boy and a girl, lived in wretchedness. He heard a voice, and it seemed so familiar that he went towards it, and when he approached, Rapunzel knew him, and fell on his neck and wept. Two of her tears wetted his eyes, and they grew clear again, and he could see with them as before. He led her to his kingdom, where he was joyfully received, and they lived for a long time afterwards, happy and contented. The end. Okay, you can stop moving now. Hey.
Good story. I liked it.
I skipped like 20 paragraphs about like how the enchantress was like, "Yeah, F you, get out of my tower." And your two children.
Yeah, it's pretty much all very boring. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose one that's not as long next time, or just do it off of memory. Okay, so I don't know what he did yet. I really don't, and I'm not going to until after YouTube. Bye, guys.
See you later.